Well, good morning, my friends. How are you? Welcome once again to another edition of Behind the Mic with me, Mike Avery, here in the Outdoor Magazine radio studio. So, this is basically a Mike Behind the Mic program. And as always, glad to have you along with us on what is a very warm morning in my neck of the woods. Good morning, John. Nice to have you along with us. John, I'm going for it tonight with the buzzer. It's our last buzzer for a while, so I'm going for it. Craig, good morning. Cliff, good morning. Martin, always a pleasure. Nice to have you folks along with us as I'm here in the Outdoor Magazine radio studio getting ready for this week's show. Johnny, good morning, buddy. How are you? Jason, good morning. Nice to have you along with us as well, a fellow Trinity guy. Jerry, good morning. How are you? Tim, always a pleasure, buddy. Johnny says, Mike, what day is it? You got to start it off early, didn't you? Mike, what day is it? It's hump day. Hello, John Cedar of Brenton, USA. Mike Sherman, good morning. Robert, good morning. Ryan, good morning. Paul, good morning. A pleasant morning here in hell, he says. John Cedar, I've been slowly but surely building up some ammo for that 350 Legend. That is done now. We just had to make plans to get together and pick it up. That gun has me excited about gun hunting again, I'll tell you that. Johnny's got the day off. Yeah, still time shifting this week, Cliff. Maybe one more week. We'll see. Marysville checking in. Sean, good morning. How are you? Johnny, I didn't think you ever got the day off. Yeah, I'm working on it, John. Every time I go by an ammo store, I pick some up. Good morning, Stacy. How are you? Anyway, my name is Mike Avery. I'm here in the Outdoor Magazine radio studio. In about 9:05, Jason says Cabela's in Saginaw has a ton of 350. Well, I'm in Saginaw right now. That might have to be a stop before I head back home. James, good morning. How are you? How's she doing, Johnny? How's she doing? She starting to feel a little better yet, or is she still pretty miserable? Davina, nice to have you along with us, Dan. Anyway, here in the Outdoor Magazine radio studio to record actually the show for next week. Johnny's wife gave him a list of honeydews. Had a great day on the Detroit River with Captain Lance. Tuesday, we caught some nice walleye. Nice to hear, Paul. Bernie, good morning. Mike Kelly checking in from Mexico. I think I'm missing the opening couple of days of turkey season because I'm going to be out of town. Eric, good morning. How are you? It was not the best plan, but it wasn't my plan. As of right now, it looks like next Saturday morning, which is the opener of my turkey season, I will be in an airplane headed down to the Keys. Now, I have no problem going to the Keys. I'm happy to go to the Keys for a family wedding. Excited about that. Not excited about missing the opening day of turkey season. Ken says, finally able to see the lake. The ice left Tuesday, Jewel Lake, Barton City. Excellent. But I have a very long season, so even if I miss the first couple of days, I'll still be out there. I've been scouting, driving around, a lot of birds, shooting my dart and crossbow. Ryan says he can hardly wait for the walleye opener, which is the last Saturday in April. Also, trout season opener in the lower part of the state. Central Ohio, Tim Dodge checking in. Sorry about that, Tim. So what else is going on? I've been shooting my crossbow. My Graham Carter, he's been using my old single shot 20 gauge to shoot trap for the local high school team. After watching him shoot that, and it's a full choke because it's a hunting gun, and he's doing a good job with it. But I thought, if we can find a gun that has a bigger pattern, it's going to help him out. So I got rummaging around the gun safe, and I found an old Remington that was my grandpa's gun, a semi-auto 20 gauge. We took that out over the weekend. We patterned it, and it is indeed a much bigger pattern. The reason I didn't put him in that in the first place, good morning, Jim, how are things in Hersey? Was it's physically a little bit big for him, and he's kind of a small frame kid. Walleye for Warriors is full with an asterisk. Could add more depending on duplicates that get removed. All right, Scott, good to know. Are we talking? We're only talking vets though, Scott, right? You're still looking for boat captains. Ken says, are they shooting SCTP? I've seen those initials before, Ken. I don't know what it means. Scholastic. Help me out. What does it mean? SCTP. Boat finally comes out of winter service. Both. All right, so still room for some vets, maybe, and certainly some captains. Good morning, Josh. How are you? Good morning, Ed. Go to walleyesforwarriors.org, walleyesforwarriors.org. Sign up for that event. I will be there. That's on Saginaw Bay, June 11th and 12th, 12th and 13th, whatever that weekend is. Scholastic Clay's Target. Is that what the high school teams shoot, Ken? I suspect that's what it is. But he's got another shoot on tomorrow, actually, and I'll be curious to see how he does with that. Bass boats coming out of storage on Saturday, picking up your new kayak. John, this weekend on the show, I interviewed the Yak Master, Dave Mull, talking about kayak fishing. You might want to check that out. In fact, as long as I'm talking about it, on this weekend's show, Dave Mull, the Yak Master, Michael Hensley of Go Great Lakes Area, Greg Buckner of Jay's Sporting Goods talks about patterning your shotgun. Emily O'Grady of the DNR on the 50th anniversary of the successful deer hunter patch. Lieutenant Jason Wicklund in the Ask Avery segment talking about the legalities of turkey hunting. You cannot use a decoy for turkey reaping in Michigan. More on that in a minute. Ed Rutherford talks about his 50 years on the Great Lakes as a charter captain. Boat captain or veteran? Boat captain or veteran? Why the question mark, though, Scott? Good morning, Randy. SCTP. All right. Oh, you're asking? Okay. All right. No phone while driving. All right, Johnny, talk to you tonight, buddy. Turkey reaping is the process, and they do it in other states, and it seems to be quite effective. Good morning, Ross. How are you, buddy? You get a fan of a bird all fanned out, and you get behind it, and you sneak up on birds behind this fan, and you can put some motion into it. It makes it look pretty realistic. That's not legal in Michigan. Do not do that in Michigan. Good morning, Randy. Turkey reaping is not legal in Michigan, although you'll see it all over the internet. You'll see it all over YouTube. You'll see TV shows doing it. They're not doing it in Michigan, at least not legally. Roger, good morning. Heading up to Omer today to get some suckers. Roger, wasn't that you who sent me the pictures of the perch as well? Nice. Were those from the cuts? Jim checking in from the YMCA. I bet you're working out, aren't you, Jim? I actually broke down and went. I don't mind going to the gym, but I had a little neighborhood gym. Good morning, Mark. How are you? I had a little neighborhood gym that I would walk down to, work out, and walk back. So it gave me a good walk and a workout, and it was never crowded. And then all it was left was Planet Fitness. I didn't want to go to Planet Fitness. My wife, Denise, said, let's go to Planet Fitness. So I went over there. I actually didn't mind it. We went early in the morning, so it wasn't too bad. Suckers are running like crazy, Mike says. Mark, we're going to miss you in Ohio this year. Speaking of Ohio, we do have one more opening. James checking in from the office, should be Coho Fishing in St. Joe. That's for sure, James. We're going to be talking about that subject on this month's Angler Quest podcast with Dan Jordan of Team Anglerfish. I will have that uploaded probably by tomorrow. Roger says, yes, great perch in the cuts this year. We're talking about the cuts off Saginaw Bay. Off Saginaw Bay, that run into Saginaw Bay, on Saginaw Bay, however you want to say it. John went to the gym this morning. He's back in bed now. Oh, anyway, going back to the ammo I've been buying for my soon-to-be Brenton 350 Legend. My buddy Paul Phillips, who is one of the best extreme long-range shooters in the world, has a 350. He says he's had great luck with the Hornady 170 grain. So I grabbed a couple of boxes of those. But John Cedar of Brenton, BrentonUSA.com, says their guns specifically like the Federal 180 grain bullets, ammo, cartridges. Central Coast Angling, good morning. How are you? Randy's asking the question, what's up on my boat? I don't have it yet. I don't think they've started to make it yet. Good morning, Joel. How are you? Crawlers have been out. Have you been picking up crawlers? If you pick them up, don't bring them on my boat. Unless, of course, you paid for the river cruise at the Trinity dinner. Nets on the bay last year were terrible. What do we got to do to stop it? Scott, where were those nets? Because where I fish, I never ran into a net. Katie, got my first steelhead on the Betsy this year. Oh, excellent. Excellent, Katie. Congrats on that. Scott, there's been a big battle in Lansing for the last couple of years between the commercial fishermen, DNR, MUCC. What barrel? I'm getting the short one, Tim. I'm getting the shorter one. Yeah. Yeah. Not surprising, but interesting. Yeah. I got the shorter barrel, Tim, and I got the collapsible stock because I thought it would make it more versatile. Carter could shoot it. Anybody could shoot it. Mike says last month they bought a 450 Bushmaster upper. I looked at the 450. No, there aren't any nets in the skinny water. Gambles to the island. Okay, Scott. Anyway, those battles in Lansing have gone nowhere. Absolutely nowhere. And it's frustrating. Hey, Steve, how are you, buddy? Another Trinity guy. We got 3 Trinity guys on here this morning that I know of. Steve, we got a meeting. Jason, we got a meeting Monday. This Monday coming up to vote on the call on the new pastor. So hope you guys can make it. Good morning, Sam. It was nice to see you at Jay's the other day. I was at Jay's Sunday evening for Mid-Michigan Community College fundraising event. They asked me just to come by and say hi to people. It was fun. It was nice. While there, I asked the folks, it's a Trinity of Trinity guys. Good one, Martin. What is Trinity? Sorry, Davina. Trinity is my church, Trinity Monitor Lutheran Church in Bay County. So that's what Trinity is. While there, I asked the folks from Jay's archery department to take a look at a dart and crossbow, an old Rebel 135, which in my opinion is still one of the best bows they've ever made, that I'm giving to a friend of mine. I said, please go over this and make sure that it's okay. Make sure the limbs are okay, the cables, the string. I looked at it and thought it was in good shape, but before I hand it off to somebody else, I wanted to make sure the experts had gone over it. They checked it out, said it looked good. They reserved the string is all they did because the serving was kind of flat against the rail. So they reserved it. It's good to go. And my buddy will soon have that new to him crossbow in his hands. It's raining in West Branch, AJ. Probably will be here in Saginaw too. But it's nice. Monday, 65 degrees, right? Most of the day. It was 65 degrees when we left our house. We're going over to see my granddaughter Addison's softball game. The drive to the field was probably 10 minutes. When we got out of the truck there, it was probably 10 degrees colder, and it was freezing that night. Good morning, Kevin. How are you? Tim says it's hard to balance the traditions of commercial fishing and sport fishing. No one will ever be happy. True. But what I think, Tim, and this is just my personal thought, I think when the commercial fishermen decide that they want to go after fish that were put there by the sport fishermen, that's where we have to draw the line. That's just my editorial comment. But I respect commercial fishermen. They're hardworking people, family businesses, multi-generational. Good morning, Brent. I'm so looking forward to seeing you in camp with us in Ohio this fall, Brent, because, of course, you had to miss it last year. You were down there and shot a nice buck. Good morning, Ron St. Louis of Northern Wilderness Bear Outfitters. Ron says he's full up for the spring hunt. However, he has a few openings for the fall hunt. If you're looking for a great bear hunt, guaranteed tag because you buy them over the counter, lots of bears, you're going to see bears, great people, beautiful part of the world. Go to northernwildernessbearoutfitters.com, northernwildernessbearoutfitters.com, and get in touch with the guy who just made a comment right here, Ron St. Louis. I will not be hunting up there this spring, but I will be up there in the fall. Now, actually, it's a mid-August hunt, but they call it the fall hunt. and I'm looking forward to it. If you want to see what that looks like, go to my YouTube channel, Mike Avery Outdoors on YouTube, and you will see a video. You'll have to scroll down a little bit. You'll see a video from my hunt last year where I took a nice sow with my dart and crossbow. And there's also video out there from previous years of taking bears with recurve and other things as well. Couldn't agree more about commercial fishing. Good morning, Mike. Good morning, Glenn. How are you? Tim, they rejected one of commercial netters didn't. It's a touchy subject. No doubt about that. No doubt about that. Going back to my boat. Randy says, Mike, what's up with your boat? Nothing yet. But that's okay because I've got this family trip and then I've got turkey. It would be nice to be able to my bird and then go boat and fish. I don't think I'm going to get my boat probably till early May. That's all right. That's all right. There's plenty of good fishing after that. And it's such a beautiful boat that it is indeed worth the wait. 26-foot Angler Quest 826 Pro Troll, the new design, 6 inches wider. It's 8.5 feet wide. Good morning, John. How are things in the middle of the mitten? 8.5 feet wide, new Bimini, a cantilevered fishing platform, a 300 horse Merc, big Lowrance on the dash. I think a Lowrance trolling motor. So it's worth the wait. It's a party barge and a fishing machine. John says, with these temps, skinny water should be good for a while. Ross says, can't wait till August to get back up to White River. Going to be another awesome time. Ross has been up there a few years too. Nobody has been up there more than I have. Nobody that I know of. I started hunting up there when Pete Jones was first starting his operation and fell in love with the place, fell in love with the people, fell in love with the terrain up there. And I've been hunting there every year since, except for the 1 year we had to take off because of COVID. Highly recommend it. Highly recommend a hunt in White River, Ontario, Canada. John says, mechanical broadheads seem like a good idea for turkeys. The tracker string seemed like a good idea, too, for birds that are shot with arrows. Well, that's an interesting comment, John. I haven't used a string tracker for years. I used to use one for deer hunting. Had luck with it. Never lost a deer that I know of because the string didn't come out. And I can't disagree with you. Certainly, John, mechanicals are the way to go on turkeys because they're surprisingly hard to kill with a broadhead. I don't use a string tracker, but I did, because certainly not with a crossbow, but I did see video the other day. Daryl says the bears are out, still 2 feet of snow, and Daryl's up in White River. Daryl guided many successful wolf hunters this year. Ross says, this will be my 7th year. Would have been 8th, but COVID stopped that. I got to figure out when I first went up there, Ross. I think it's like my 13th year now. But the string tracker, I saw a video online the other day. There's a guy who has check him out on Instagram, Longbow Luke. And he is a traditional archer, and he's one of the best. He shoots longbows, recurves, I think mostly longbows. And he went out west on a turkey hunt, and he used a string tracker on his hunt with his bird to help recover the bird. I think, he's one of the best out there. I respect what he does. So yes, a string tracker is not a bad idea, and certainly a mechanical broadhead, although I would never recommend a mechanical broadhead or an expandable broadhead with a recurve or a longbow. There's just not the speed, just not the kinetic energy to get that thing opened up. With a crossbow, no problem. With a compound, no problem. But I would never recommend a mechanical with traditional archery tackle. Although I highly recommend traditional archery tackle. So what else? Let's see. So I'm waiting on a boat. I'm waiting on a Brenton 350 Legend, BrentonUSA.com. I'm waiting on some new arrows from Black Eagle being shipped from my friends at Dart and Archery, now basically the same company. I'm waiting on turkey season. By the way, Pat Johnson's here in the studio with me. Congrats, Pat, on your most recent award from the Michigan Association of Broadcasters. Once again, the guy wins something every year. Every year, the guy wins something from MAB. I'm working with professionals here. Charlie's doing the show, isn't he? All right. So 2 minutes?
You got 2 minutes.
2 minutes. All right. So, my friends, in 2 minutes, we're going to switch the focus of this from my behind the mic live stream to recording next week's Outdoor Magazine radio show. I told you who's on the show this week, but this will be the show for next weekend. When we start that, I will not be able to answer your questions and talk with you directly as I have been right now. You can stick around and watch me record the show, but I can't interact with you. But tonight at 7 o'clock on this week's edition of Wednesday Night Live, I will be able to do that. And I encourage you to join us because we're giving away another Michigan brand ham. And this is the last Michigan brand ham of the season. It's an Easter ham. Nick Grillo and the Grillo family at Michigan brand will work hard to get it to you by Easter. It may or may not be possible. But here's the thing to watch for tonight. The buzzer. The buzzer to announce the end of the contest. I have been, happy Easter, Mike. Same to you. My buzzer has been somewhat lackadaisical lately. It is my goal tonight to put out a good, solid, long-lasting buzzer. And you can see that tonight at 7 o'clock on Wednesday Night Live, where, again, we will give away another Michigan brand ham.
Nope. If you want to use them, go right at.
Hey, Charlie.
Yeah, 15 seconds.
15 seconds. All right, my friend. So, like I said, in 15 seconds, I'm going to switch gears here.
No problem.
And we'll start the first segment of the radio show. This is the show that will air for next week. What else? Oh, is that for real?
It is for real. I said 15 seconds.
I know you did.
Why is it so bright?
I don't know about a world record buzzer, Tim. I would just like to get it close to my personal best. You have a great day as well, Brent. Oh, this is the new open, too. Another new open.
For more than 4 decades, and that tradition continues today. Outdoor Magazine is brought to you
All right, Jim.
by Sporting Goods, the Geiger Insurance Group, Angler Quest Pontoons, and Polarcraft Boats. The Forward
Yeah, that's the new one.
Primal Tree Stands, Security Credit Union,
Chevrolet,
Brenton
Brenton USA
USA,
hunting rifles, and by Michigan brand meats. All right, my friends, have a great day. Here's Mike Avery. Well, thank you, Ken Hunter, for that introduction, and welcome to another edition of the Outdoor Magazine show right here on the Outdoor Magazine Radio Network. More than 30 AM and FM stations across the great state of Michigan talking about the great outdoors, the outdoor lifestyle here in the great state of Michigan. It is something that means so much to so many people in our state. It's not a hobby. It's not a pastime. It's a way of life. Is it an addiction? Sometimes. Is it a good addiction? I think so. I think anything that can get us outdoors, outside, in the fields, in the woods, on the water, away from the stress of our day-to-day life, maybe even away from the electronic devices that we carry in our pocket all the time, although I don't know of a hunter who can sit in a turkey blind or a tree stand for more than a couple of hours without taking a look at his phone. That's just life today. But this outdoor lifestyle is such a big part of our history and tradition. And this is a great time of year, isn't it? Springtime in most of the state. For me, it's kind of interesting because, I've been looking forward to turkey season. I love turkey hunting. Turkey hunting, walleye fishing, bear hunting are my big three. And don't ask me to choose between them. But this time of year, I'm thinking about turkey hunting. And it looks like at this point, as the sun comes up over the horizon from the east on the opening morning of turkey season, and that first bird gobbles from the roost, and they fly down and start wandering around I'm not going to be there to greet him. I think I'm going to be in an airplane. How did that happen? Now, we've got a family wedding, actually, in the Keys that we're heading down for. And I'm excited about that. I'm looking forward to it. I kind of wish it would have been a different weekend, but I've got a long season. I've got ZZ, which runs from April 23rd all the way through the end of May. So I got plenty of time. And that's one of the benefits of if you live in the southern part of the state and you can find private land to hunt on, ZZ is wonderful. But it is turkey season. I've been getting ready. I've been shooting my bow. This year, I decided to go back to a crossbow. I've talked about this before, but if you're new to the show or didn't hear this, I had been hunting with a recurve for a couple of years. Love a recurve. Love the challenge of it. Love the simplicity of it. Love the just everything about it. Absolutely everything about it. But if you hunt with traditional archery gear, you have to be extremely committed, and you have to spend the time to do it and do it right and practice and be confident and proficient with the tool that you're going to use. I think we owe that to any critter that we're pursuing. And last year, at the end of the season, end of the turkey season, I'm out there with my recurve. I mean, this is like the last couple of days of the season. And I had a bird come in, and fortunately, he didn't give me a shot. He almost did. I mean, he was right in my lap, but he was hiding behind a pine tree and wouldn't come around the tree. And I'm almost glad of that, because deep in my heart, deep in my soul, deep in my brain, I wasn't confident that I could make a quick, clean, humane killing shot. And that was not a good feeling. There was a time when I was shooting enough, several times a week, that I did have the confidence. But life gets in the way, even for a guy like me, whose job it is to do outdoor things and talk about outdoor things. You know, I just didn't have the time, or maybe more accurately, I wasn't willing to make the time to practice and shoot that recurve as much as I needed to be confident. So when it came time for the fall bear season up in White River, Ontario, I switched over to a crossbow. And there, you know, obviously I feel very comfortable, very confident in that. So that's what I'm hunting with this year. I've been shooting that. It's a Darton Toxin 100 RD. I love Michigan-based products. I am fascinated. I'll tell you this. I am fascinated by the Ravens. I'm fascinated by that new 10-point that shoots over 500 feet per second. But I love this Darton. Shooting mechanical broadheads. I think if you're bow hunting for birds, a mechanical is a very good choice. Not for traditional archery gear. I would never recommend a mechanical broadhead out of a recurve or a longbow. Certainly out of a compound and a crossbow. I think they're great. So the way I do it is I've got several of these Primal Tree Stands Wraith 270 see-through blinds. If you're a ground blind hunter, I would encourage you to check them out. They change the way you will look at ground blind hunting, because you can see out and the critters can't see in. Changes the way you'll look at ground blind hunting. So I'll have that set up. I'll put a couple of decoys out in front of me, and I'll wait and see what the birds want to do. If they start gobbling, talking, I'll talk back. If they're quiet, I'll just call a couple of times just to let them know I'm there, and then I'll shut up. I turkey hunt more like deer hunting than traditional run and gun, shotgun style turkey hunting. But I love it. It's been effective for me, and, you know, it works out. Speaking of shooting, I told the story last week about my grandson Carter using my old single shot 20 gauge that I got for my birthday when I was, I don't know, Christmas, when I was like 10, 11 or 12. And he was using it to shoot trap on his high school trap team, and doing actually quite well with it. But it's a full choke. It's a hunting gun. It's not a skeet or trap gun. We put him in that gun because, number one, just the safety, the simplicity, the size. He's not a very big framed kid. But we got looking around, and as I rummaged through the gun safe, I found another one in the back of the safe that I think is going to work out better for him. It's an old Remington 20 gauge, but it's an upland bird gun. So we went out last weekend and we patterned those two shotguns side by side. What patterning is you put up some kind of a target. For us, it was just a white sheet of paper, and you shoot into it and you see what the pattern of the shot looks like, what the spread is. And then we took the other gun, the semi-auto, the Upland Bird gun, longer barrel, and shot that. And it was obvious it was a more open pattern. Carter handled it very well. It's actually not too big for him. And that open pattern, I think, is going to help him out a lot. So we'll see. Coming up here in a couple of days, he's got his next shoot, and I'll be cheering him on over his shoulder, and we'll see how he shoots that gun. Speaking of shooting, I've got a Brenton AR-style hunting rifle that I had ordered a while ago. I just got the phone call. It's done. Now, I haven't picked it up yet. I'm very interested, very excited in this. I am primarily a bow hunter, but when I look at this Michigan-based company that makes extremely accurate hunting rifles on the AR platform, that's got my attention. It's a 350 Legend. So what I've been doing in preparation of this, even though I don't have the gun, every time I go by an ammo store, I stop and I pick up a box or two or whatever they will let me of 350 Legend ammo. And I think that's good advice. Anything in the outdoors right now, probably anything anywhere, if you think you might need something, a piece of gear, a tool, equipment, and you think you're going to need it, and you find it in a store, buy it now, because it may not be there in a few months. That's what all my friends in the sporting goods, in the outdoor world are telling me. They say, Avery, tell your listeners. Now, I realize they have a vested interest because they're selling products, but they want their customers to be happy. If you find what you're going to need later in the year, if you find it now, not a bad idea to buy it now, because with all these supply chain issues and the prices and everything going up, you're probably better off to have it now. And that way, you've got it. And that's what I'm doing with the ammo. I'm not hoarding ammo, but whenever I can find a box of 350 Legend, that's what I'm buying. Specifically, Hornady 170 grain and Federal 180. Those are the two that I've had, people that I respect have been sending me that direction. They said those two work very well, but I haven't shot it yet, so I don't know. I think what we'll do here sometime in the near future is do a Wednesday night live with that gun, maybe on the range, hopefully on the range, shooting it so you can get a feel for what I'm talking about. What else? Have you started to pick up crawlers yet? Pick up your night crawlers for the trout opener, walleye opener coming up? Talk about history and the tradition in the outdoors. Picking up night crawlers, getting ready for fishing season is part of that. But does anybody do it anymore? A lot cheaper than buying them, that's for sure. And a lot more fun, too. That's an adventure in itself. You go out there after dark on a warm, rainy night with a flashlight. For kids especially, it's a real, real adventure. Coming up on this week's Outdoor Magazine show, after the break, Adam Bump, DNR wildlife biologist, talking about turkey hunting here in Michigan. Then Elliot Schaefer of the Michigan Wildlife Council with an update on their Here for Generations campaign. In hour number 2, we're talking fishing with the man himself, Mark Romanek of Fishing 411. Nick Green of MUCC checks in this week's Ask Avery segment, also talking about fishing. And in hour number 3, Corey Mitzrick of Northern Edge Food Plots. Yes, it's the food plot season, too. As if you didn't have enough to get done, it's food plot season as well. And then, of course, wild game chef extraordinaire Dave Miner will join us as well. That's all coming up this week right here on Outdoor Magazine. All right, my friends, you heard the first segment of next week's show. Doesn't mean you don't have to tune in and still listen to the show. All right, I'm going to go. Davina, yes. Golf courses are a great place. They get crawlers, aren't they? All right, my friends, have a good day. Enjoy the warmth while it's here. And hopefully you can join me tonight at 7 o'clock for another edition of Wednesday Night Live, where we will give away our last Michigan brand ham just in time for Easter. But you can't win if you don't join me tonight at 7 o'clock on Wednesday Night Live. Have a great day, my friends.